Hello everybody, it's Big People here. Welcome back to my channel. I know it's been half a year, so sorry about that. But this is going to be more of a yapping intro, so skip to here for the actual what if you don't give a fuck. So, hope you enjoy the what if you left. But anyways, back to me yapping. So, obviously, it's been almost half a year. Also, welcome to 2026, everyone. Hopefully this year I'm more consistent. The whole reason I kind of stopped uploading is because, one, in my opinion, what ifs are kind of dying unless you're using an AI voice or you're just reading fan fiction and not just doing your own fan fiction, you know? Because sadly to say, what ifs are just fan fiction, but on a YouTube scale. But who cares? People love fan fiction. But yeah, I just wanted to say I'm very sorry for leaving you guys on a gigantic hiatus. I know I've been live streaming a couple times, if you would catch that. I'm live streaming now over, if you click on my live tab, I've been live streaming a couple times. But that doesn't really matter because I just feel bad for leaving you guys with no actual YouTube content for about half a year. So if you would enjoy the video, I would appreciate it. Or, just liking the video. Not like actually liking the video, like enjoying the video. I would appreciate it, honestly. And I hope you enjoy the what if of what if Bardock survived. Starting our story, we start where Bardock's life is supposed to end. He's standing in the middle, in air, about to shoot his final ki blast, and he throws it, make it utterly and completely consumed by Frieza's death ball. Frieza then laughs and throws it at him. Bardock, accepting his fate of death, getting hit by the death ball and the planet itself blowing up with him. But in our timeline, Bardock lives this. You're probably thinking, ain't no fucking way this guy survives a planet exploding on him. And let me explain how he survives it. The death ball is like, the reason like the death ball has like this little orb around it is because the outside of the orb is shielded. This isn't canon, I don't know if it's canon, but I'm headcanoning it as that. So Bardock entering the death ball made the death ball basically shield him from the planet exploding, but it didn't shield him from the death ball. So the death ball basically almost killed him, but he lived on like an inch of his life. And as a Frieza soldier is scourging the destruction, because he's trying to find scouters or like rummage and like steal like body parts to sell because he's evil. But he accidentally stumbles upon Bardock, which Bardock grabs him by the throat and tears off his oxygen stuff, which completely kills him almost instantly. By almost instantly, it kills him. And Bardock takes the mask and actually is able to survive it. And then he takes the Frieza soldiers' armada, basically. There's like a big spaceship, a lot of people are on it, and Bardock kills every single one of them in more brutal fashions than other. Like a group of soldiers, he just shoots them with a ki blast and they get incinerated. He then gut checks one, shooting a ki blast through the stomach, old Dodoria style. Actually, Zarbon style. And then he just completely commando kills every single one of the soldiers. And hijacks the ship and flies it to an abandoned planet that Frieza will definitely not look for. And the reason Bardock does this instead of going to Earth, he knows that Frieza has every single one of his ships chipped, so it would track him. So he's making sure that his son never gets caught. But when he lands, he tears out the ship's chip and incinerates it, crushes it, which removes the tracking. And he then just takes a a while on that planet. Training, of course, because what else is he gonna do? He's also gardening and basically just living off the land while he rejuvenates. And eventually he does rejuvenate and he's back to full health, which obviously, plus keep Zenkai boost, which we'll say he gets basically around, because he survived a death ball, I'll say he gets around, who am I trying to say? I'm thinking like someone around bardock strength, but it's kind of hard because not a lot of people are around bardock strength, and it's really hard to calculate when a guy gets hit by a death ball. So we'll say he's definitely not stronger than Vegeta, or Nappa. He's like a little bit lower than his son Raditz. So he's not that strong, but nowadays he's basically an ant. But anyways, we'll just say he's around his son's strength, Raditz. And so after a while, he finally hops planets to a new planet. This one's more populated and actually is like populated by Frieza soldiers, but Bardock wears like a coat, like he did in the Granola arc. By the way, just to specify, I'm gonna use more of non-canon Bardock than canon Bardock, because I want that struggle of him being a bad guy, but him wanting to be a person. But it's hard for him to be that because he's, evil. Just to specify that, just in case you're confused. But anyways, we see Bardock walking around, trying to make it hard for him to be noticeable. But the whole reason he comes here is so he can figure out where his other son, Raditz's whereabouts is, because he knows where Goku is. He's at Earth. So he's just trying to find his other son, Raditz. Because he knows he survived because he was off planet. And he finds a Frieza soldier that's like actually just talking about the Saiyans and how there's only 3 of them left. Obviously not knowing Bardock's alive. And he's like talking about how all 3 of them are basically insignificant compared to Frieza, Zarbon, and Dodoria. And then Bardock gives it a second, and then when the guy goes into a tavern and gets drunk and walks out at night, he sneaks him and rips out his throat, and then shoots him, basically incinerating him from his bottom half, basically incinerating his whole body except his head, grabbing his head and then ripping off his scouter, because it's basically built into its head. It's an alien, so I can say that. So then he puts it on, obviously not saying anything, because if he says anything, Frieza will know he's on the line. Because obviously Frieza's gonna be like, who the hell is this? But anyways, Bardock then gets more information on where his son's whereabouts are, which is basically on another planet with King Vegeta and Nappa. And of course, since this is non-canon Bardock, he doesn't really trust Nappa or Vegeta because he knows Saiyan elites are extremely prejudiced towards low rankers. So he's trying to get his son out so he can just live with his son again, because he's trying to reconnect. But it's really hard for him because he doesn't know which planet. They were just saying a planet. So for right now, Bardock takes his ship, the Frieza ship again. Actually, no, he doesn't. He steals another person's ship, so he can't. So it's way harder to tell that he's part of the Frieza Force. He doesn't kill the guy, he just knocks him out and then leaves his body at that place and just steals his ship. After Bardock takes the ship, he just flies around for a while until he finds a planet called Yardrat. And so he lands on Yardrat, and the Yardratian people show up and they basically tell Bardock what's his business here, with Bardock saying he needs a place to rest and hide from Frieza, and he basically calmly asked if he can use this place as a refuge. And so the Argentinian people agree to this term if Bardock agrees to never lay a hand on anyone. So Bardock agrees to these terms, and after a couple months, they eventually warm up to Bardock and start teaching Bardock their Yardratian techniques. And since he's there for basically a while, we'll say that he learns every Yardrat technique and even masters a couple of them. And after he masters a couple Yardratian techniques, let's up his power level here. We'll say he's on the level of Nappa now. And mostly because he has spirit vision. That is a technique where he can absorb the other person's power level and get stronger off it. So that's basically the reason he overtops Nappa. So afterwards, Bardock says goodbye to the Argentinian people, saying he has to find his sons, and so the Argentinian people wave him goodbye, and Bardock gets back into the stolen spaceship and tries to find his sons, with him going around a lot of planets, interrogating a lot of Frieza soldiers to find where Raditz is. And eventually he does find where he is, and he realizes that he probably can't go and help him or get him because he's with Vegeta and Nappa, and he knows Vegeta and Nappa are evil, like he knows that. So he's gonna stay away from them, and he's just gonna hope his son is able to escape or live long enough to where he can fight Vegeta and beat him. So he kind of just then tries to go retrieve his son Goku, but then he is ambushed by a buttload of Frieza soldiers, and so he basically flies his ship into another ship, blowing it up, losing his ship, but he's able to basically use an aura around him. That this isn't canon to the universe, but we'll say the Yardratian people told him a technique where he could basically put an energy around him to where he could breathe in space. And so he flies over to another ship, opening it up, killing every single inhabitant in that ship and taking that one. He also destroys the GPS to it, so Frieza can't track him. And then he also realizes that there's no way he's going to be able to go anywhere, because if he tries to go anywhere, the Frieza force will track him. So now he realizes that he just has to sit and wait until his sons either meet each other or he dies. So he then just goes off to a far planet with pretty heavy gravity and just trains there. And he just keeps training until he actually gets to the power level of Vegeta. Not like overly stronger than Vegeta, but like they could fight and it would be like an either way battle. But if Vegeta went into his Great Ape form and Bardock also went to his Great Ape form, I'll say Vegeta wins because Vegeta has more experience in his Great Ape form. Because Bardock's mother just used to it as like a rampaging form. But Vegeta uses it more as a power up. But after a while, Bardock then just waits basically for like the entire series of Dragon Ball until we get to Dragon Ball Z. And after Goku, basically we're gonna skip all the way to the Namek saga because Bardock was just scared that if he went to any other planet his both his one of his sons would die, so he just decided to just chill on this planet until he senses, because his sensory power has gotten so good to where he can sense where Frieza is exactly every single time, and then he realizes Frieza is actually moving to a planet. He actually gets back into the ship, and luckily for Bardock, the ship actually works, and so he goes to planet Namek ahead of every single other person because he's closer. And so, when he arrives on the planet, obviously the Namek warrior tribe shows up to intercept him. But Bardock exits the ship with like a peaceful and like his hands raised, saying that he means no harm. He just could sense that the Emperor Frieza is coming here, and he's here to assist with anything and everything. So they then say that they don't need his help, but Bardock says that they will need it. So, but since the Namekians are not very warmed up to Saiyans, they actually attack Bardock, but Bardock like just quickly knocks them down. Doesn't hurt them in like a really hard way, just knocks them down, saying that he means no harm and all he wishes to do is to help. But eventually the Grand Guru and senses that Bardock is actually here to help. He telepathically tells the Namekians to calm down and let him come see him. But of course, Nail obviously objects to this, but Guru says that it's fine, and even if Bardock is evil, Nail's with him. And I'm gonna say it, Nail's stronger than Bardock here, because Bardock's basically, since he's been training this whole time, kind of, he's stronger than Vegeta at this point, and also in Great Ape. Actually, he actually took his tail off because the Great Ape form seemed so useless to him that he just took it off. And since Vegeta doesn't have his tail anymore, the Great Ape is just not a factor anymore. But we will say Vegeta and Bardock are... Vegeta's stronger... Bardock is stronger than Vegeta. And he's kind of on the level of Goku before he does all that training before Namek. And so I will say like he's half the power of that Goku. So he's not overly strong. After a while, the Frieza Force shows up, but instead of them being able to just wipe out towns, Bardock actually intercepts most, if not all, of the people that show up, and all the Namekians are like in like a safe space. Because if you can remember, when the Frieza Force showed up, they had the Namekians had no idea this was happening, so they kind of got jumped. But since Bardock showed up early, they were able to get a jump on the Frieza Force, and the Frieza Force right now are getting cooked. And Bardock's basically killing all the soldiers with the Namekians. And after a while, obviously the Ginyu Force shows up eventually and starts just... The Ginyu Force. Zarbon and Dodori show up and they start just doing work to the Namekians. And a bit of Bardock, but not as much, because Bardock is just that guy. I will say here, he's actually able to kill Dodoria by smoothing off his head. And, okay, just a little side note right now. Sorry if I'm kind of skipping over fights. I kind of want to more focus on Bardock's psyche here. But I think... Well, if someone comments on this video, please tell me if you want more fights or you just want me to yap about feelings. But anyways, Bardock then actually starts to have a serious fight with Zarbon. By the way, Frieza isn't there, so that's why Bardock's actually fighting Dodoria and Zarbon. But eventually Zarbon buffs up and is starting to overpower Bardock. But Bardock then uses his spirit vision to actually start sucking away Zarbon's power, which actually makes him get really debuffed because he's just not that strong compared to when the other people spirit vision's been used on. So Zarbon actually starts to get really weakened, and so Bardock charges up a ki blast in his fist, punching Zarbon in the chest, and then putting his fingers in the wound and then ripping Zarbon in half, killing Zarbon. So Bardock was able to kill both Zarbon and Dory here. And let's talk about the Z Fighters and Vegeta are doing right now. Vegeta is collecting all the Dragon Balls, and so are the Z Fighters. But they're having... It's a bit easier for them because Bardock's dealing with the fights. And they're also able to sense Bardock, so they're wondering who this is. And just for fun, let's say they think it's a Namekian warrior that's doing this. And so after a while, Bardock fighting for his life right now, he then can sense Frieza coming towards him, and then he just bolts. Because he's obviously a bit scared of Frieza, but if Frieza ever actually came into contact with him, he would fight till his last drop of blood dripped out. But right now he's avoiding it so he can meet up with his son Goku, or Kakarot. So eventually he accidentally stumbles across Gohan, who is hiding a Dragon Ball from Vegeta, and Gohan asked, "Who the hell is he?" Well, obviously he doesn't say hell, he says, "Who are you, mister?" Because that's Gohan. Come on, he's a chill guy. Little kid, bro. So Bardock then explains to him that he's Bardock, and he's a Saiyan. He's a Saiyan protecting this planet. So Gohan then asks if he could help them collect the Dragon Balls, with Bardock saying yes. He's able to sense Gohan's pure heart, and he can kind of sense his Sunspire level in him, but he can't really... He's more touching on the fact he's more of a good person, and he wants to help this kid because I don't know, he can kind of sense his maternal feeling because it's his grandkid. He's his grandpa. So he decides to help out Gohan, and eventually Gohan meets up with Krillin, and Krillin asks who this guy is, with Gohan saying this is Bardock, he's a Saiyan, with Krillin then getting into a fighting stance, even if he's trembling, with Bardock saying he's here to help. So Krillin then does a sigh of relief and says that we're just trying to revive our friends, with Bardock saying that he'll help until it gets in the way of the Namekians, because he wants to help the Namekians. Obviously, since he's not really trusting of Krillin or Gohan, because he doesn't know Gohan's a Saiyan, he can't really sense that. But eventually Vegeta shows up, and Vegeta then has a shocked expression when he realizes there's another Saiyan alive, and he looks basically identical to Goku. And the reason Gohan hasn't mentioned the fact he looks like Goku is because his demeanor, his scar, and how he acts. He basically which is like, oh, he kind of looks like my dad, but I'm just not going to mention that because he's not my dad. Oh, by the way, Bardock's wearing his Yardratian attire, but he's wearing his Dragon Ball fit, his Saiyan attire. But the attire is his non-canon version because I like how that one looks better. So afterwards, after a while, what am I talking after? Vegeta then yells at Bardock, how the hell is he alive? He thought all the Saiyans were dead. With Vegeta saying that they are, and there shouldn't be any more Saiyans alive. But Vegeta yells at Bardock that the Saiyans are a proud race and they should never stop to exist. But Bardock's opinion on the matter is that the Saiyans were such a bad race of things that they should just stop existing. He's mostly talking about the culture, not like they should all die. And so, but Vegeta like scoffs and says to Bardock that he wants to team up so they can take out Frieza. But then Bardock senses a power level and looks above him to see that the Ginyu Force is showing up. And so then he looks over to Vegeta and says, "Is that why you want to team up?" With Vegeta saying that they'd be dead if we don't team up. So Bardock decides that fine, they can work together. So Vegeta and Bardock team up with Krillin and Gohan being there too. And then they team up to fight the Ginyu Force. And you know what? I'm ending that right there. They're about to fight the Ginyu Force. And that's where I'm going to end the episode. I hope you like the this what if. Next what if will be a lot more fighting, a lot more hands. And I hope you like the video. I'll be working really hard on this one. I'll give you like photos and stuff to tell me. So anyways, I hope you liked the video. Like, subscribe, hit the post notification bells if you want to enjoy this content more. I promise that I'll post more. This may or may not be my last what if, but I promise it'll be a good one to end it off. This is basically like a Dragon Ball saga, my what if saga. And I think what I'm going to do next is a Marvel Rivals basically saga of me editing. And I hope, but of course, for right now, what if Bardock survive is what we're going to be doing right now. And I promise I'll add more of the Yard Rat stuff